So, I like snipers. They're a class that works very well with my favorite frame, they're fun weapons that reward skill, and even the weakest of them puts a heck of a lot of power behind each shot. But despite the fact that basically everyone who plays this game knows that they exist and has reasons to keep at least one of these rifles around, I basically never see anyone use them outside of Eidolon hunts, which is a bit of a shame because Warframe snipers are an interesting class of weaponry with their own unique mechanics and some of the best damage scaling in the entire game. So while it's not my usual sort of content, let's take the next few days and do a quick little series about these vicious and underused weapons. Starting with, why you'd want to actually use anything in this entire class of weaponry. And there's actually quite a few reasons, with the first being that they are simply one of the best classes of weapons for killing harder targets like bombards, X-misses, and bosses. Between their relatively high base damage, solid to amazing crit stats, various bonuses when zoomed, and the fact that they have a combo multiplier that means that if you're good with these weapons you can comfortably deal 2 or 3 times their normal damage even in fairly short missions, and you have a class of weapons that has some of the best single target damage potential out of anything in the game. And that's not even counting the headshots. While snipers do strongly reward headshots, and you can expect to see numbers of around 1 to 300,000 damage on a good crit, a properly built sniper will usually kill all but the toughest enemies in a single body shot. And while all snipers are primarily single target weapons and will never be as good at mass murder as something like, say, an Arcoplasmor, their AoE combat potential is actually not as bad as you might expect. Every single one of them has at least a meter of built-in punch through, and this can go all the way up to 5 meters with a fully charged shot from the Lanka, and depending on your build, that's not their only source of AoE damage. You see, thanks to the extremely high damage potential of sniper rifles, ones that have decent status chance can actually build gas damage to shockingly good effect even when dealing with level 100-ish armored enemies. Once a good combo multiplier has been built up, a headshot crit with something like, say, a Volkar Wraith has a decent chance of just straight up killing a whole pack of level 100 bombards and will almost instantly delete anything with less armor than that. And all of that is without a Riven. Since snipers are a relatively underused class, there are no snipers with outright bad Riven dispositions. Every single weapon in the class has, at minimum, a 2-star Riven disposition, and in the case of the Snipetron and Volkar, that number is even higher. So if you really like rolling Rivens repeatedly, you can reveal some really ridiculous Rivens. And there's actually a few more reasons to use these things than just pure damage. They are, obviously, great weapons for those who would prefer to keep their distance from many threats. For most of them, their maximum effective range is only slightly below the maximum distance at which enemies can be seen in the first place, so they are often wonderful in open world areas. And since enemies will generally target whoever's closest to them first, snipers end up working pretty well on frames that want to keep the enemies at medium to long range. And even though you do trade that impressive range for reduced hipfire accuracy, this doesn't affect any of the weapons in the class as much as you might expect. The reduction in accuracy is limited enough that you'll probably still be able to land at least a body shot when firing from the hip, and most of the enemies in Warframe that fight at close range are squishy enough that a body shot should be significantly more damage than you actually need to take them out. And even if you do miss, you can definitely afford to waste a few shots with these weapons due to their surprisingly good ammo economy. Even if you completely whiff half your shots, thanks to how much ammunition you get back per item, how much damage you do per shot, and the sniper class's decent ammo pools, running out of ammo is generally not going to be a thing, even without a companion who's set to help you pick up fallen items. So, yeah, grab a sniper, level it up, and learn to use it. Worst case scenario, you've got a nice weapon that you can consider taking into boss fights, and if you discover you like the rifle, you've got a deadly tool that can be used at basically any level of content. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you learned anything, leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow. Farewell.